Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. My name is Habiba Manzo. I am an origin of Niger State, Ushishi local government precisely. But I grew up in Kano. I was born in Kano. I grew up there. I did my primary and secondary school in Kano. I attended St. Louis Nursery and Primary School. I went forward to Kano Capital Girls Secondary School. And from there, I left for Sudan to pursue my university degree. Professionally, I'm a media personnel. I work at Star Sapphire Media. It's here in Abuja with another branch in Lagos. And apart from that, I do quite of other pretty much extracurricular activities, or let's say more of my passion becoming a job. I'm an entrepreneur. Quite a lot of things do motivate me. One of them should be being a Muslim, because every day you wake up feels a blessing. It's a blessing. It's definitely a blessing. And then defying the odds, the stereotypical societal odds of being a Muslim, being a lady, gives me more courage to go on with what I do and what I love pursuing. My line of work, hopefully in a couple of years, I should have a hub or an empire which has different sectors. I want to have an entrepreneurial hub, pretty much. It would have the charity sector, the empowerment sector, whereby I get youth from the less privileged aspect, parts of the world, literally, to train them, and then they have a thing to live for. I want to have an Islamic school, because it's ever rewarding, whether you're alive or dead or anything. It's always rewarding. And I think that's pretty much it. Of course, get married. I don't really have a mentor when it comes to fashion designing, because mainly I just wake up someday and I have an event to go for, or a function or something, and I just want to dress to pretty much impress. But at the same time, I'm a person that is not always comfortable when I'm not covered. I have to dress comfortably. That's my part of fashion line. So I bring up ideas in my head. Okay, what if I wrap around this hair and that hair, and then I end up with a dress and I'm covered, and then wrap my hijab and I'm gone. So from there, I end up making dresses and people tend to like them. When it comes to photography, I don't know. I didn't do research on it. So it was literally just me playing around with cameras, loving nature, because that's my main aim. I love landscape and nature photography. But I do have a couple of people here in Abuja that I do like, and I like their work, and they quite much inspire me to do good, to do better. There is Abdul Qudus. He owns Eyes of Insanity. He's really good. And there is another brother that owns another photography, and he's really, really good. His name is Henry as well. So, and they've tutored me along the line to become a better photographer as I am. So, yes. When it comes to humanitarian activities, I don't know. They say charity begins at home. I guess it's just more of my faith. Because smiling is charity. Then you grow to learn to give, learn to help people. So literally, I think the Prophet ﷺ is my mentor on that. When I was younger, I used to be a kid that pretty much likes the sport. I didn't like people much, but I was the best student in my school, primary school and secondary as well. And I've always been on presentations, TV programs in and out of Nigeria and all of that. So it was self-inclined to be the on-spot person. And yes, I loved playing dress up. Wear this, take pictures, wear that, play around in the house and all of that. And then I grew love for modeling. But at the same time, I always think of the whole aspect. The models I see out there are barely clothed, and I didn't really find that enticing at all. So I've always thought, what if I tried modeling at the same time relating it to my faith? What if I model today and I am pretty much an icon for other people out there that Muslims are not oppressed with their hijabs? And I gave it a shot. 2015. It was literally the official year I started, and it has been an amazing journey so far. I only and strictly model modest clothes, Islamic clothes with my hijab all the time, and it's been fun, it's been amazing, and hopefully young minds out there that want to do it but are not comfortable about the whole idea of going half clothed, or maybe people would not accept you because you do strictly hijabis, should erase that out of their mind, because there is a whole lot of opportunities for you out there as a Muslim or not. Most of us ladies want to, dress to impress, do the trend, and the trend is not really something that is accepted in our deen, not at all, because the trends are the celebrities, the Western people, and all of that. But then one thing we should look at is the fact that Islam is all about beauty in and out. And another thing is that if you accept yourself, you accept yourself, your looks, and whatever it is about you, that's when people accept you. You don't have to wear the same dress as a friend or someone you know is wearing, or a celebrity is wearing, because she looks sexy or whatever, to look that beautiful. You could be comfortable in your own outfit. You could do the whole covered outfits, try to be trendy at the same time, and you'd look gorgeous. I think these days people are really trying the whole abaya trend, and they're really trying, and I believe it's an evolution to us going back to being modest completely. There's a project I have at heart. It's called School Not Streets. It's one of the charity jobs I do. I had a friend, Rahimullah Noura, he's late. He started the project initially with his photography. He does documentary photography. And from there I got the whole inspiration of, I do charity jobs and we do pay for students' scholarships to finish school and feeding and all of that. But then what if I continue from where he stopped? It's a legacy that if he dies and part of what he started is still active, he would still get the rewards. So it's a project I want to do to get young people, people that find it hard to go to school due to financial reasons or economic situations and all of that, get them to school, pay for their scholarships completely till secondary school, and then from there we can see where we can move forward to. It's one of the projects I'm working on. And then one of the foundations I'm with, Global Shapers, it's an organization, it's part of the World Economic Forum, and I'm a shaper, a member, literally, is the Ilimi na Kowani, that's Hausa, that means education is for all. It's literally the same thing, try to get everyone to go to school, both Western and faith-wise. And then there is another, Help or Slave, which is part of the young children that we take as house helps that turn out to not really be helps but are enslaved. They don't go to school, they don't get maybe good feeding, clothing, the comfort of having a home and all of that. I want people to understand that those people are human. Someday, one of them could be someone and you'd regret how you treated him. Treat him as if she or he was your sister or your brother or your child, as the case might be, and then things would be better. At least if you start by making a home for the closest person to you, then you could easily do it for other people out. I have an entrepreneurial mind. I've delved into different businesses and I'm still going into different businesses as well. Agriculture is one of them, fashion designing, events management and planning. And I'm planning to go into school, like the summer classes for kids to do all sorts of activities and all that. But when it comes to funding, well, mine has been different because I never took a loan. I never asked any of my family members from the start to help or anything. What I did was start petty jobs, look for internships around Muslim clothing lines. Particularly, it had to be a modest clothing line before I sought internship. It hasn't been easy because people turn you down. And one thing you should know is when people turn you down, you have to keep moving. Lots of people will turn you down, but then just keep that zeal in mind and you have to keep seeking out there. I got internships, get paid, I save, get paid, I save. Then I moved from one fashion house to the other. From there, I started my modest modeling, and then continually I was saving. I just take photos for fun, and I'm always like, I'm in my hijab, so I don't have a problem. I think I'm comfortable with the whole idea. Then eventually it became something that was part of me. Even if I don't go out there to look for, people come to look for me, which was really amazing because I didn't think I would get to that stage at some point. So that was how I began to save and fund myself, and then I started my business. But in the era we're living in now, girls, or rather Muslim girls, Northern girls, anyone, are pretty much lazy. If we try a first and second time, we don't want to go again. Okay, no, I can't lose my respect for that. People would turn me down. How would he dare tell me this because I'm looking for a job and all of that. But then if you remember that that thing you're aiming at is your passion and it will bestow you someday, you just have to keep going. I think there are Islamic banks out there that would give you a loan without interest. There's the contemplation of, okay, are those banks really Islamic, or is their money really halal even if they don't have interest and all that? I think the best way is for you to inquire, apply for Islamic Foundation grants, or maybe you look for someone, a genuinely generous person to help you with the funding. If your father, your sister, uncle, or someone that really has the thought of you in mind, that you want to do that thing, is able to fund you, I think it's a good idea. I have taken a loan from my sister, just my sister. I don't like the whole idea of loans. So I took a loan from my sister to boost up my business, and it has been amazing so far, alhamdulillah. Entrepreneurship, I don't know if I should talk about it from my single-handed perspective, or should I talk about it as a whole? Anyway, entrepreneurship to women, I believe, is something that should be supported, long as it's not something that is against your faith, long as it's not something against your customs, your tradition, your family rights, your faith, everything, then it should be supported. Because when you're an entrepreneur, you become a boss of your own. People like to use that term. Become a boss of your own. You don't have to work under anybody or those type of bosses that keep you at work till 6 and then you're probably a married woman, or keep you at work till 8, or tell you have to be out on a Saturday morning when you're supposed to stay home and be with your family, or shouts at you because you've done something wrong, things like that. The excuses and complaints keep coming. I believe it's something we should all support and something we should all work at towards. You become independent pretty much. Not the other aspect of independency, but you become, can I say, one of your own, literally. So you have to push, you have to have a passion for it. Because if you don't have a passion for entrepreneurship, I don't think it would work. There is always ups and downs all the time. I have a lady that quite inspires me on a daily. I go on her page and I read almost an everyday testimony. Her name is Samia Oyekan Ahmed. She is a doctor, she is a business lady. She has about 3 businesses, like successful businesses, and she's a Muslim and a hijabi at the same time. That woman is amazing. Her testimonies always have faith in them. Like, she gives prayers, how she's conquered this or that or a couple of things through agreeing that, okay, this was destined to be. There are ups and downs in businesses, but you have to have the passion to keep you going. Without the zeal, I don't think you would be able to soar through the whole entrepreneurial journey. Then have a genuine idea. You could decide, okay, I want agriculture. What part of agriculture? Like, there are different aspects of it. Oh no, I want to go into clothing. Is it just accessories? Is it just bespoke clothing? Or do you want to go into like the high fashion, luxurious clothing? No, I want to go into shoemaking. What type of shoemaking? Is it for everybody, for girls, for boys, unisex, anything? So if you have a genuine idea of yourself, and then you have the whole support and the zeal to do it, I think that's the main thing that you need. At the same time, you have to stay away from plagiarism because that's one of the mainstream things that go around now. When it comes to entrepreneurial funding, like I said earlier, you go for halal funds. Someone like me, I don't like loans, but at some point it's quite necessary. I took a loan from my sister. Yes, it's quite necessary to do that at some point. But if you can, if it's not something really big that you really need the funding from, you could save. You could save from the little pocket money you have, the little gifts you get, you know, do petty jobs and all of that and save, and someday it will all be story. And you'll be glad to say them. You'll be glad to tell the world that this is where you started from. It's always an amazing feeling when you have to tell the world, okay, you started with 5 naira, 10 naira or whatever. On the other hand, if it's something really big that you need the loan and all, you could go for the Islamic funding. Money is not always dirty as it may seem, but the transactions make them dirty. So you have a pious thought, pious idea, you seek for loan, you're good to go. Well, to round it out before I go, I believe in a world where opening up and, you know, going out barely dressed or barely clothed is what is termed as fashion or vogue or trend. I believe it should be free, and it should also be accepted that choosing to clothe is better off someone's option and opinion and should not be termed as oppressed. We're comfortable in our clothes, we're comfortable in our hijabs, and give us the chance would prove to you that we could conquer more than you think you can when you're half-clothed. My name is Habiba Manzo, and this is The Profile. Do stay tuned for more.